Hello viewers, Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot. How are we all today? Wherever you are in the world when you're watching, a huge hello and thank you for tuning in. I had a lot of comments, a lot of emails, a lot of contacts, again expressing fear that Biden and Harris will not win on November the 3rd, 2020, or that they won't win the election, I should say, because it may take some time for the results to be known. This is born out of the fear that Trump and Pence may get 4 more years. I've never seen that. I've always seen Joe Biden and Harris winning the election. And Biden not having a second term, and Harris, of course, having a clear run at the presidency. That's been my vision, or I always thought a female vice president. I didn't realise it would be Kamala Harris at the time. But let's take an update in light of all the events that have occurred, including Trump's disdainful comments about the military, and it goes on. Let's have a, it's too numerous to name. Every day he's doing something. Let's take a look at the energies that are underlying this time in the US history and also in the global history. QAnon, if you haven't looked at my reading, you should scroll back if you've got time and have a look at it. QAnon now is strongest in America, followed by UK, and then, of course, Germany. QAnon, the conspiracy theorist movement, which my reading tells me was started in Russia to obviously achieve division in the Western world. Let's take a look at the energy underneath all of what is happening before we start moving into the tarot reading. Show me the energy. Okay, so it is about truth. It's about understanding truth. It's about understanding the consequences of, I guess, lies and the consequences of deception. It's about choosing. It's about a decision to choose truth. All right, let me draw some cards. What are the underlying energies? Now, truth... The Magician card. Okay, this came out. I started this reading before, and I actually had to. It wasn't recording, but this was the first card out. So after all that shuffling, we get the Magician again. So I'm just going to pause for thought. The Magician has 2 faces. On the one hand, the Magician can be manifesting manipulation, disunity, all those things that we see coming from Trump, and those that support Trump, those that have put Trump there, because Trump didn't just get into place on his own steam, and he didn't just get into place by having Vladimir Putin's help. He had other wealthy billionaires who funded his campaign, funded misinformation, possibly even liaising with oligarchs along the way. And, of course, this approach was used in the UK during Brexit, the Brexit referendums as well. So we have one side of the Magician, a manipulative, the trickster side. On the other hand, we have what inspiration and passion and desire for truth, desire for change, desire to follow a higher truth. On the other side, we have the Magician that is the manifester. So again, where are you going to put your focus? Part of the reason that Trump is so powerful, or has gone on for so long, is that he knows how to hold attention. And the first rule, or one of the rules, I should say, of manifestation is that you must put your attention and your focus on something. So I'm going to ask you, what are you manifesting at the moment? Where do you want your attention to be? Where do you want your visualization to be? These are the decisions in front of us at the moment. Same card came out again, so I know that Spirit is giving me this message. The 10 of Coins came also up in my reading of a few days ago. The Ten of Coins, the coins, this is for dark money. Dark money in politics has been there for decades now, probably there since time began, under the feudal system even. We have this money and power coexisting. But this is blocking our view to what's behind this truth, the light of truth, the healing light of truth. And if you look really closely, this is the Fountain Tarot. We have what often appears in my reading as a sword being dropped down, being given to us, being drawn down. In fact, we have to work for it. We have to bring it down to wider collective consciousness. So what is the truth? The truth is in our humanity. The truth is in those higher order values and ideals. The truth is in, not doing harm to our fellow human beings. So what are we manifesting at the moment? If we're manifesting the Ten of Pentacles, we're going to get more of the same. The Page of Wands, we're manifesting a new start, and we've got to want truth to come forward. We've got to have that fiery, inspiring energy come forward. The Queen of Wands came up in my readings on the midterms before the midterm elections in the US. She signified inspiration. We've got to get back to this position of wanting change. We only need to take a look at what is happening in Belarus to understand what inspiration can do, the power of the collective agitating for change. So we have victory here, the Six of Wands. So I feel our inspiration is what is growing at the moment, our inspiration to knock down those pentacles and to reach the light and to draw down that sword of truth, because we have seen where deception and where lies get us. And we understand that it is not in our best interests to live under those, to live under that deception. All right, let's see what's at the base of the pack. So the energies that are propelling us forward, propelling this need for inspired action to achieve truth, not deception. We have the Temperance card, bringing things back into balance. We have the Six of Cups, going back. This is all emotional energy, healing energy. The blues of the water, the blues of love, the throat chakra, communicating love, going back to a time, going back to our higher selves, not descending into the muck of lower world negativities. We have the Three of Cups again, all emotional energy, understanding that the strength of our inspiration, and the King of Wands, this fire and water energy coming together. Again in this reading, it came together in my previous reading on another forum. Fire and water coming together, the divine masculine, the divine feminine coming together in harmony to achieve a balancing out of things. So that is the underlying energy that is propelling these current events. On the one hand, there is the destructive emotion of deception and disunity that Trump brings forward, and on the other, we have the emotion of compassion, of kindness, of transparency, and of knowledge coming forward in Biden and Harris. All right, let's move to the tarot and we'll ask the question. Will Joe Biden win the 2020 election? Will Joe Biden be the next president of the United States? Will Biden and Harris, the ticket, win the presidency of the United States? Biden and Harris, will they win the presidency of the United States. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris be the next president and vice president of the United States. Yes. New starts with the Fool. I deliberately chose these cards because of the sun or the moon, which stand for or which symbolize, I should say, illumination, but the sun, the energy of the bright sun, and the healing blue of the sea, healing our emotions, becoming aware of the strength of our emotions, and we do that when fire and water meet. We have a new start, zero, a new start, a new beginning. The King of Swords, there is so much truth that needs to be, to come forward. And if I look at these as signifier cards and crossing cards, the new start can only be actualized, going back to my magician, can only be actualized by bringing the truth forward, by clarity, steadfastness, holding that vision, looking to the future and visualizing what you want to manifest. The Princess of Pentacles, again speaking to me of new starts. A new relationship, knocking down those pentacles and beginning again on a different journey. And of course we have one pentacle in this card, not 10. And we have nature, and we have mountains behind. We even have a goat, the steadfastness of the goat, the determination of the goat that can stand upon a mountaintop, the nimbleness of the goat. So we are starting something again. The Chariot in the past position. The Chariot is change, and this is why people descend into the fear and worry, because of the quickness of what is happening to us at the moment. But what is happening to us is all part of the bigger picture, the bigger picture that we are undergoing change, undeniable change. What's in the sky is the Queen of Swords. So again, this focus on that sword of truth, which incidentally, this is in the sky, a potential future. It is my card for the Democratic Party in the House, but also for Kamala Harris, a female attorney, lawyer. She has always, or will she in the future, will play a huge role in this administration. Now, in the immediate future, we have the King of Pentacles. King of Pentacles, of course, is my card for Trump. We're going to be hearing about Trump this month, and we will be hearing about his money-making ventures. We'll be hearing about his financial ties. And we'll be doing that sitting right there with that King of Swords, alongside that King of Swords, bringing out more and more truth as we move toward November the 3rd. Right now, the building is aflame, and hence people feel it, they see it, they know it. This is the destructive energy of deception and lies and being conned, and the protests and the riots and the racism, the Tower card, the economy, the People's House, the King losing his crown. The King, I'll say it again, the King losing his crown. Okay. All right, let's see what's in the environment around the Ten of Pentacles. In the environment around the Tower card, things being broken down, the endings of cycles, the beginnings of new cycles, bringing things to a close. And of course, that sword, that King of Swords, crossing the Fool, is where we get to decide. We get to decide whether we want the deception to continue or do we want the truth. Now, in the hopes and fears, the King of Wands with our final card in the Fountain Tarot that I used to begin with, the hope is in inspiration. The hope is in that we've reached a maturity around inspiration. Because anyone who turns off, anyone who thinks that it'll be okay, I don't need to participate, life will go on the way it normally does, is mistaken. We need to get, I guess, on the front foot. We need to stay in the game. We need to be inspired. So the King of Wands, boldness, courageousness, stepping out of our comfort zones, leading the way. Fire energy, inspiration, the World card. Of course this would come up. Of course this would come up in the outcome position. Not only another yes card, but something ending on a grand scale. The ending of the major arcana, the beginning of another. The World card, number 21, 10, 10, 1. 10 being endings of cycles, 1 being the individual, the self, the beginning. And we have our full card, endings and beginnings. Endings and new beginnings. Okay. So, at the base of the pack, we have our beautiful Queen of Wands energy, the inspirational energy. And we have the King of Cups, which is my card for Joe Biden. This is the energy, fire and water that we are manifesting. Keep your thoughts positive. Set your intentions. Visualize how you want your future and the collective's future to look like. If you're not going to do that now, this close to the election, when are you going to do it? Clarifying the world, the 10 of Wands, an ending of a cycle. These are matches showing that this is coming down. This is being burnt down. Fire is cleansing, is a cleansing energy as well. And the 8 of Pentacles, needing to put the work in. This isn't a done deal. I'm reading now today. We've still got the election isn't being held until the 3rd of November. But I got so many yes cards, so much confirmation from Spirit that we are ending a cycle and beginning anew. I've seen Biden. I've seen the Democratic Party. I've seen Kamala Harris. I've seen the vote of women en masse getting out and giving the Democratic Party a victory. Another victory, just as they did in the midterms. I see the King of Pentacles here under heavy investigation. I'm going to draw a clarifier for what is coming down the line for Trump in the future. In the immediate future. Maybe someone needed to hear this reading today. Maybe a lot of people needed to hear yet again that I do not see Trump winning the election. I see Joe Biden and Kamala Harris winning the election. Show me this King of Pentacles in the immediate future. Show me this King of Pentacles. Okay, so we've got a secrets with this High Priestess. Secrets emerging. Secrets emerging. We know that Cohen's book, a raft of books, not just Cohen's, but this is an investigation as well. This is Trump being investigated. And we have campaign financial donations here. I'm getting a draw to the Republicans who are donating to the Trump campaign. There is very little accountability about how that money is being used. Okay, so we've got dark money here, but we've also got to focus on these campaign donations. And we've got the Four of Cups. So this is disappointment, but we are being offered something here. We've got our spilt cups, which this person has their eye on, but we're being offered the cup of emotion, that Ace of Cups, that new start. Show me this King of Pentacles. Somebody that has been disappointed. Secrets emerging. Show me this King of Pentacles. What is this King of Pentacles in the immediate future doing here? Yeah, we've got the Knight, the Sword, the Knight of Swords. There is something emerging for Trump in the immediate future that will unearth his secrets, that will not just draw him in, but will draw others in, because this Three of Pentacles is dark money. It could be that this is Cohen here, disappointed and wanting to get payback, but it is a harsh truth that is going to emerge. Show me this Knight of Swords. Show me this Knight of Swords. A secret that should have been buried is going to be released. Yep, the Queen of Wands. Okay, now she's in upright positions. Sorry, in the reverse position. Oh, okay, but I had the deck upside down. The Queen of Wands. There could even be a woman involved and money going missing. Okay, so we do have, I'm getting a pull, multiple pulls. It's to do with money. It's to do with him appropriating things, those campaign donations. Where has the money gone? I think that's the question people will be asking. We have the Queen of Wands here, so we've got a woman figuring fairly strongly in this as well. But it is a secret emerging that should have stayed buried, but it's not. It's emerging. Okay, so this could be the multiple people that are looking on and wanting to right wrongs as well, that may be going to media or others to break this story. But I do feel there is something coming for Trump around his money dealings. Could be more about his loans, his debts, who funded him. But it's also something to do with the campaign donations, the RNC, the Republican Party donations to the Trump campaign. So the moral of the story there is keep your focus high. I drew those cards; they were quite strong. The Fool, New Beginnings as a signifier card. The World, which is a yes card. So is the Fool. As the outcome. Endings and beginnings of cycles showed so strongly there. Now, it's one thing to say that at this stage, remembering I'll update again before the election, it's one thing to say that Biden and Harris will win, but what sort of damage is Trump going to concede? Defeat, or is he going to take it all the way to the Supreme Court? Is he going to hold things up? What is Trump going to concede? If Trump loses, which we know he will he concede? If Trump loses the election, will he concede? If Trump, no. Okay, I'm getting that quite strongly. If Trump, okay, so he's playing Russian roulette. He wants to spin the wheel again. Give it another spin. Okay, so what's going on here? Taking it to the court, accusing things of being rigged, and of course bringing in third-party adjudicators. Will Trump concede the election if he loses? Will Trump concede the election if he loses? The Devil card. So we know that's validation of my clairvoyance. No. He is being crossed by Russia. He needs to win this election because he has a debt to Russia, a debt to Vladimir Putin. Yeah. Will he concede? The World is the foundation of the reading, foundational card. It's what anchors everything. things are ending for him, endings and new beginnings. The strength of this reading is that this will be eventually out of his control. The Three of Cups, this has been a plan, perhaps circles of support, the GOP. I saw people sitting at a table, dining in luxury. This has been planned. What happens if he's defeated? What are we going to do? More treachery. However, ultimately, the Four of Cups is there. He will be disappointed. That's in the sky. That's a potential future. He will be disappointed with this strategy. The Seven of Cups. The Seven of Cups, illusions, delusions, but lost, losing emotionally what he's trying, this strategy of trying to delay the defeat. This is Trump. It's almost like he loses his mind. He loses his mind. The Emperor in the here and now. He thinks he can control things. He thinks this is his office. He believes in his deluded mind that this seat is his to occupy. The Two of Pentacles. He's worried about monetary loss more than anything. Even before, he probably thinks he can defeat the courts or hold things up or delay things, but he is walking a tightrope with the presidency at the moment. This isn't somebody that is on firm ground. His ship has almost sailed. The Two of Cups, his commitment to others. He fears his commitment to Russia. Now put yourself in Trump's shoes. We know that Putin, according to my previous readings, probably had a hand in poisoning the opposition leader, who is actually recovering. He's out of a coma. He's decided to stay in this life. Imagine, we know Putin has no compunction about just releasing poison. He did that in the UK. Trump is fearful of Vladimir Putin. I think he fears Putin more than he fears the courts in America. The Lover's card. Okay, so he will get help to stay there. Remember that Trump is it's not just his own power, it's those that enable him. But let's see, he's going to be disappointed. Secrets, the High Priestess, keeping things under this planning, this subterfuge, underneath, away from our eyes. But there is definitely a plan there. And we do have the Hanged Man, showing that this plan may not come to, whatever he's doing to, not to concede, to hold on to power, it's not going to work. The Hanged Man is something that doesn't go any further. So he might briefly flirt with this, but it's not going to work. He is ultimately going to be disappointed. He doesn't want his secrets to come out. And so he's trying to stall. But the plan is not going to work. Let's see what's underneath the pack, remembering the baseline energies. We do have the Six of Swords, moving on out of troubled waters into smoother waters, away from trouble, away from the tower, the burning down of the people's house. It's moving out of those energies. The Ten of Cups, of course, is the ending of a cycle, the attainment of, I guess, this emotional strength, which is so different to the energy that Trump brings forward. And we have the Queen of Swords. The Democrats will defend this quite vigorously. There will be truth that will come out even before we get to the election about Trump. And so ultimately, whatever he does gets more and more difficult for him to do the longer that he's in the public eye, because so much is emerging on him. Ultimately, he's going to be disappointed. This could even be a whistleblower coming out and telling us what he would plan to do post-election. So secrets again being revealed, but ultimately this plan is going to not work for him. So he doesn't win the election. His plan not to concede doesn't go anywhere. Ultimately, a Biden-Harris team will govern the US at this time, at this point in time in 2021, and Trump will be defeated. Let's see. Will Trump be brought to justice? And we'll wrap this reading up. Will Trump be brought to justice? This is where it gets a little bit hazy, because he's a past master of just pushing things through the courts and delaying them. He's going to try that with the election result, but it's not going to work. So will Trump face justice? Will Trump face justice? Will Trump face justice? Will Trump face justice? He's all by himself. At the end of the day, there is no one sitting with him. He is just by himself, which tells me that even his family may not stick around. He is sitting in a room by himself. Okay, will Trump face justice? The Eight of Swords could spell potential imprisonment for him. Sometimes this is the card that indicate the reason he's sitting by himself is because he's in a cell. I personally, find it hard that he's not going to elude justice, but this is showing me he's going to be restricted. It's almost like if this is not prison, it's an ankle bracelet. It's like he can't go anywhere, and it's more than him. There are others involved here as well. So we have the Prince of Wands crossing him, this new start. Again, the new starts. There's going to be a lot of strength trying to bring him to justice shown. Could even be a younger prosecutor put on this. The Princess of Swords, yeah, the spy in the camp, but the truth emerging. Again, that sword that I saw at the beginning of this reading. This is Biden pushing and bringing, or the energy of this emotion. There's going to be a lot of emotion once Biden is in the White House to bring Trump to justice. This is where I more see Trump in exile, whether that is in Florida at Mar-a-Lago or whether that's some other destination. We've got the Hermit card being isolated. The Three of Wands could even be an overseas location. I've not ruled out he won't leave the country. I read on Melania the other day in another forum, and I did see that she had a plan, according to what I saw in the cards on that day, to make a getaway. There are far-off lands indicated here. So the Six of Cups, going back to the past. He desires to go back to the past. But we've got temperance, harmony in the atmosphere around. So it's not just Trump. It's moving into our higher selves and a rebalancing as in the here and now. Let's see what's in the hopes and fears. This can be the card of madness. It's in the hopes and fears. It's like his fears are driving him mad about what will happen to him when he loses the election. The Ten of Pentacles at the window blocking our view is coming. The Tower is bringing them down. This is the Trump organization as well. It's where it's going to hit. The government has a light that it is shining into the affairs of the Trump organization. This is the courts. And the Seven of Swords, the lies that have been told, deception that has been passed off in the past. And the Eight of Cups, the loss card. A lot of eights there for Trump. Eights are the entrepreneurial number, but things aren't going his way. So If he, for example, leaves the country, the Trump organisation will be pursued by the law. I do see him isolated. I don't see anybody around him. So that if he stays, that could mean prison. At the base of the pack, we have the Five of Cups, overcome with grief and loss. And the Prince of Swords, the Knight of Swords, the truth, of course, emerging. The truth emerging. So I won't go any further. You saw those cards as well as what I did. And those cards, again, when you look at them, according to the questions asked, they're not good for Trump. They're very positive at this point in time. Things can change. I have to put that disclaimer there. But at this point in time, it's looking very positive for a Biden and Harris win and a fairly bleak future for Donald Trump. He will not concede. He will try and hold up the victory for Biden and Harris, but it's looking like that won't be successful. All right, I'll leave it there. Thank you for tuning in.